You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Yo, today's my dog's birthday, bro. He's 8 years old.
I saw on Facebook. I know this is an important. I know it's an important thing to you. I didn't recognize it all. I apologize. Happy birthday to Rock. Shout to Rock.
Yeah, every year, if you have a dog, every year that he has a birthday is a little bit of a sad year because of how quick they age. You know, so like a year for us is like 7 years for them. So he's getting in his senior years, but still a great dog, and he's enjoying the COVID. He's enjoying me and everyone being home all the time. So he's barely home alone anymore. So that's cool. How's things with you, Mike? How's your Labor Day?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was back to work the week before, so Labor Day was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I spent my first week back to work in somewhat of a depression, so Labor Day was whatever.
Oh, hey, what's up with your headphones, man? You look like you're about to fly a helicopter out of there, man. What's going on? You need to get aviators, dude. Aviators and some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, first of all, I'm not responsible for the purchase of these headphones. Okay. I would never. In fact, within a couple weeks, they'll be switched out again. But here was the situation, right? Let's talk for a second. Let's talk honestly, right? Let's show the people. So this was the headset I was using previously.
Wait, put it to the camera, dude.
And if you take a look, okay.
Yeah, look at that
taped
thing.
On.
Jesus
Right?
Christ.
It was taped on. Okay. So no people know that I'm a teacher, right? So I'm teaching virtually right now. This is what I do all day now. I sit in front of the same computer that we broadcast from, and I just talk to the computer. I talk to the computer. It's like there's nobody out there. It's just like this. Like you don't know who's listening, who's not. It's just, yeah, whatever. You're just talking to a bunch of people. They're dropping comments in the chat. It's just like this. In fact, I was thinking, man, I wish I could use our platform to teach, like have a banner going across the bottom, like Mr. Weinert, here's my email, office hours today at 1:45. So here's the point. I'm on the computer now for like 5 hours a day. Okay. So
5 hours, a whole 5 hours. Oh,
I mean,
man.
Listen,
teachers have it rough.
I needed something more comfortable, so I told my wife order me some headphones, something dope. I said something comfortable, something bigger that'll drown the noise out, and this is what she orders me. So, it was probably some Amazon Prime on sale deal. That's her deal. So, soon enough I'll have like some Bose wireless headphones or something to work with over here. But for now, I'm rocking the tires. So it's all good. I appreciate you noticing, though, homie.
Yeah, dude. I mean, are you going to be wearing those headphones when you watch the Eagles this weekend?
Football's back. Football's back. Oh, my goodness. Tomorrow night at 7:00, I'll be settling down in front of my TV in my family room, relaxing and ready to watch some Kansas City Chiefs versus, who is it? Texans, right? Houston Texans, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be ready to watch that tomorrow night. Eagles on Sunday, 1:00 against Washington, the team with no nickname. So yeah, I'm I know you're a little late, Lucas. You're a little late with the headphone cracks. We already got to that. That's okay though.
Hey, Lucas, I'd rather have dorky earphones than dorky eyeglasses.
Oh man,
I still love you, Lucas.
So yeah. Now I forget what the hell I was talking about. I can't even concentrate.
Talking about the Eagles game, man. The Redskins.
Yeah, the Eagles. So Sunday I'll be settled down in front of my TV tomorrow night and Sunday to watch some football. But Rob, we were talking off air a little bit, and I had talked about this when COVID was first going on, or when things started to first open up. But you want to share the private conversation we were having in terms of football coming back, and what we were discussing in terms of bowling.
I don't remember, but yeah, go ahead. I don't care. Look, by the way.
No, just in terms of like football's back now, right? So
Yep.
bowling's going to come back, right?
Oh
Bowling's coming
yeah,
back in a couple weekends. You know, you're
yeah.
going to have
Bowling missed their opportunity.
you're going to have the team event, right? That I think is going to be on like I forget what the schedule was, but I know it's on a one Sunday, might be on a Saturday. I know it's on a couple weekdays as well with like a day break in between. Um, so yeah, like I feel the same way, man. I feel like a missed opportunity. You know, now bowling's coming back. You're going to have all these shows on from the World Series, from the PBA playoffs that are going to be taped, and you know, in a lot of instances, it's probably going to have to go up against football. Football's going to be on Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and who knows about Saturday? I mean, if college football isn't really filling that, you might see NFL games early on Saturdays in the year this year. So yeah, definitely feel like it's a little bit of a lost opportunity there that they could have captured that spotlight a little bit more. But you know, hey, it is what it is, right? I mean, COVID had a lot to do with that. So
Yeah, I do feel like they missed out on an opportunity. And I do feel like the one thing that's been missing for years and years is just the consistency of having a show on every week. Let alone if it was Saturday afternoon. I remember they went to a Wednesday evening format where they were running shows Wednesday evening every day. I feel like Mike, Sweep the Rack has a more consistent showing of a consistency of a
scheduling,
show
yeah, it's a hell of a
scheduling than
lot
the
easier
PBA
for us.
does.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
a lot of that goes back to their time at ESPN, right? And ESPN kind of treated them like an unwanted stepchild to a degree, in my opinion. So, you had a lot of that bouncing around of schedules. But Rob, other than football, is there? Well, I guess there is. Let's ask this question though. Let's have this discussion. Other than football, is there a sport that owns a particular day or night? Like obviously, football owns Sundays, right? You don't want to go up against football on Sundays. But other than that, I really don't think there is a sport that owns a particular time or a particular night.
oh yeah,
Oh,
you
Jesus
you
Christ.
threw an 85-mile-an-hour
Jesus
fastball
Christ.
for
I
me, my
said
man.
sports. I said sports.
Monday
I
night
said sport. No,
wrestling,
that's
bro.
football too. That's football too. Come on.
Oh,
That's going all the
no,
way back
dude,
to the 70s. That's
Dude,
ridiculous.
WWE goes up against NFL Monday nights every week, and they have one of the best airing cable shows. Exactly, John.
Stop
Dude,
encouraging him. Stop encouraging him. Okay.
wrestling and football owns Monday night. Okay, there's no way bowling should be on Monday night because you
Right.
have
All right. So
so
I'll
they
even
both
give you
own
that
it.
just so we can move on from the wrestling bullshit. So wrestling, football, anything else? I mean, golf like Sunday sort of, but that's outside of football, right? I know all the
No.
finals for golf are on Sunday, but I don't
College
think
football
golf
on Saturday.
Saturday.
I mean,
Okay,
college
that's what I was
football on
thinking about.
Saturday,
College football Saturday, right?
NFL Sunday, wrestling football Monday. So I feel like if you're bowling, this was a pretty much a good opportunity for you to get on Saturday afternoon.
It's real talk. It's real talk. I do
Um,
feel the Turbo X.
but I mean, look, like bowling doesn't have like the say probably where they could go to Fox and say, "Hey, we want this time slot," right? They're at the network's mercy. But if they had ratings, right, you might be able to like,
Influence that a
dictate
little
what
bit.
slot you want to be
Right.
on, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's the reality, right? But I hear what you're saying. It would be nice for bowling to have a lockdown, to own a day, right? To own a time slot. Like for
Right.
many years, they owned that Saturday afternoon ABC Wide World of Sports time slot. It would be
Mhm.
really nice to see that in some way again. I don't really think it's in the cards in the immediate future, but yeah, the opportunity is there. There, like we said, there aren't too many sports that like own a night or own that time. So to suffice though, I guess, we both feel like had they not done those made for TV events and put on something a little bit more, I'll say traditionally competition based, and would have been able to continue that going forward. Like maybe they could have brought in different groups of players, right? Like you had a group of 8 down there with a couple women, I think, to make it 10. Maybe you let those 10 go home. you film a couple shows, you bring some more people back, another group of 10, you film some more shows. Like, I don't know. I feel like that was a missed opportunity from that time to this time. Now, like we said, football's coming back, and even us. I mean, we're football fans, right? We're football fans almost as much as we're bowling fans, I would say. So, you put bowling up against an Eagles game, that's a real tough choice for me. If Bill's not on that show, I don't know. If Bill's on the show, no question, we're watching the show.
Yeah, knowing you'd have 2 TVs set up and you'd be watching at the same time.
I probably would. You're right. I probably would have 2 TVs and 2 deep fryers too. I've been known to do two deep fryers at the same time.
It's good. It's easy as a Jets fan because I mean, usually after the second quarter, the game's usually out already. So
right, you can just turn right back to bowling.
Right back to bowling.
Watching bowling makes for a better Sunday for a Jets fan most times, right?
Bottom line is like this was a good opportunity for them to seize it, and you said it too. You said it in March when this whole thing went down. I remember you were so adamant about it. You were like, bowling needs to seize this opportunity, find a way to do it. UFC did, right? And UFC, like, I'm a bigger UFC fan now than I was back before COVID because UFC was the only thing.
Betting on UFC.
What?
Been betting on UFC just because it's been on.
And I realized how great. I realized how great it was. It's always been great, right? Because it's a true sport. It's a true form. But I never really get into it until COVID because there's nothing else to watch. So bowling did miss it, and I don't want to harp on it and beat a dead horse. But I mean, in reality, they were too busy. I don't know what they were doing. But anyway,
we got some. Hold on, we got some good comments here. So do we think the fans will be allowed at PBA events next year? Going into January and forward, I would think so.
Yeah.
Especially going forward from that. Right now, obviously, the answer is going to be no. And, we've talked a little bit about how that might impact the team event and the quality of that, production of that event, et cetera. Doyle Irons, you're venturing into territory we usually don't get into on Sweep the Rack here, but I'll put your comment up because off the air, quite frankly, Rob and I have had discussions about bringing somebody on who can speak to, and I'll be careful with how I phrase things here, but the lack of African-American participation at some of the higher levels of bowling, it's kind of striking, pun not intended, but it is to see that there's so few minorities at that level. So, that's definitely something that we've talked about off the air as well. But I kind of agree with your sentiment there that would be another way to kind of capture the public's interest. Joey Bellbottom's chiming in, deaf gambling situation for sure. Yeah, Joey, I agree. Like, could you imagine over the last couple months if bowling would have had consistent live competitions on, like the ones that we were able to bet on for that week or two that they had some shows? I mean, that you would have had a lot of fans turning on to bowling, and going forward, there would have been a lot of fans tuning into it because they would have continued to have an interest in it and bet in it. So I actually tweeted Tom Clark today, Rob. I want to know, can we bet on the team events? If we're allowed to bet on the team events, I'm telling you now. Now I'm going to say what the pick is going to be, but there's going to be another pick of the year, shocker, upset females involved, perhaps picked by your guy here, Big Mike. So get with me. If you want that info, hit me up on Gmail. It's going to cost you though.
But look, and you've said it previous, until the PBA gets their outlet of how to take bets in order, meaning either, DraftKings or even look, I'm in Vegas and I have the Station Casinos app. You know how easy it is for me to go put a bet in on the Station Casinos app? When I want to deposit money, I just go to the casino. I give them cash. I give them my account number. They put it in my account. I go home. I'm in Vegas. I have an 891. It pings my phone and knows I'm here. And then I'm able to parlays. And, dude, the app is incredible.
Oh, listen, DraftKings is the shit.
It is. It's the same thing.
DraftKings is the shit. Like, I said this before numerous times. After we use Fox Sports Bet shitty app to place the bets before, they need to get with DraftKings, man. These shows are going to be on Fox again, I would imagine. So if we can bet, it's probably going to be through the shitty Fox Bet app. But yeah, listen, the PBA needs to get with something like DraftKings and get it together. I agree with our burner account over here, Joey Bellbottoms. So all good on that end. Rob, I want to talk a little bit about COVID and bowling. I feel like we talk about it every week.
Oh, I mean,
we got to right. We got to throw
important.
something out there. It's omnipresent, right? It's omnipresent because, like, this part of the conversation isn't really going anywhere for some time. Okay, so I just want to relay a story from my league. You guys who tune into the show for a while now, or who were listening before we did video, you guys know that I do that I'm in a league. I'm in a sport league. It was on the smaller side. At the biggest, I think we had like 12 teams or 13 teams of 3 people. I think last year we had 10 or 11. Well, this year, Rob, there's 7 teams and it's doubles. Okay, so you have less than half of the people returning from last year. Okay, and listen, I'm one of the people that decided to take off the first half. Okay, so I'm part of this too. So you have less than half the people coming back. Then an email went out this week that said one of the teams out of those 7 was only going to bowl if there were more than 10 teams. Okay, so that brings you down to 6 teams, which means there were only 12 people interested really in bowling a league that previously had over 40 people in it, almost 50 people in it. So I guess what I thought about when I heard that is, what if that situation, and listen, these are serious bowlers in this league. These are guys, there's guys in my league who bowl 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, a lot of them. So my thought was, if that is a microcosm of what's going to go on in a large scale, what are we looking at here, man?
Looking at a catastrophe, or what is that? What am I word I'm looking for? A catastrophic event, or you know what I'm trying to say? Like, bowling could really be in really a lot of trouble. Yeah. You should have drafted me and my brother. You don't want to draft you.
I throw prettier than both of those guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Get
right.
out of here.
But I feel like it's gonna be a really just a bad thing for for the sport of bowling, Mike. I mean, closure. Others are coming in at Worcester Center and Philly Association of Closure. Others are coming in at 50%.
Erie Lanes, rest in peace. Erie Lanes,
Yeah.
Emily Streets in Philly.
Mike.
Hood. It was in the Hood, but it was a great center. One of the greatest Philadelphia Catholic League upsets ever happened there. When a young sophomore from LaSalle High School named Mike Weinert led the Explorers past North Catholic in the PCL playoffs. I know my guy Will Jackson appreciates that. Okay. Go ahead, Rob. What were you saying? Sorry.
Dude, I was gonna say this. It's such a supply chain. Look, that's my industry, right? I'm in the supply chain industry. Right. When the consumers aren't buying product, it ripples down to so much effect. Like through the consumers aren't buying, the manufacturers aren't making, people are getting laid off. People get laid off, they can't buy. It's this biggest and that's what's going to happen with bowling, right? People aren't going to be bowling. They're not going to be buying bowling balls. They're not going to be drilling bowling balls. The pro shops are going to feel it at the bowling. The bowling centers and proprietors are going to feel it. The manufacturers who are making the bowling balls are going to feel it, right? They're going to lay off. They're going to close. Then the bowling alleys are going to close. And it's just this big ripple effect that you don't want to be like, you don't want to be like a world's ending type.
Right, or an alarmist, right? No, I hear you.
Yeah. But it's a really, I mean, next year at this time, are we going to be looking at half the bowling centers closed from previous year? I mean, 50% in over a year, Mike. Is that possible? Could that happen? I mean, even if it's 30%, it's still, dude, that's a crazy amount of bowling centers that are going to close. And that's going to affect everybody. Absolutely. Dude, everybody who works in the industry.
So I just thought that it was interesting, that we've talked about it a lot on here, and then these emails went out through my league. So I just wanted to bring it up. I just wanted that's right, baby. Smooth, dog. Smooth.
Oh, I was going to say, charming is because it's it likes to be around shit.
No, he might be saying because it squeezes. He might be insulting me and say I squeeze.
Oh, I thought he was.
No, I'm gonna
Odell Beckham reference.
flip it. I'm gonna flip it the other way and say no. It's because I'm smooth at the bottom, dog. Come on.
Yeah, I do feel like Michael has a good point here. You got to really go out and support your local pro shops and your local bone centers. Really.
Yeah, but you know what, Rob? The pro shops, like any other business during this, they got to kind of reinvent things too. You know, ball raffles and selling things online, whatever it may be. You know, you can't just sit back and watch your business crumble, right? You gotta be proactive. You got to come up with ideas as well. But I agree with Michael's comment as well. It is important to support your pro shop. You know, do what you can out there. But
dude, how many
Rob,
pro shops do their own marketing now? I mean, look, if you really think about it, right?
I'm not saying marketing. I'm just saying you have a social media account.
This is a good point. This is a good point. You're right. A social media account. How many pro shops still really like do any kind of like outside the box thinking when it comes to trying to bring customers in, other than sitting in the pro shop and watching TV and playing video games, waiting for people to come in?
You want to get into this conversation? It's gonna be a long conversation if we get into it.
No, I mean we could save it, but I feel like you're right though in the fact where pro shops they need to like think outside the box, and they think they got to try to like get people into the bone center. If it's like holding, I don't know, $5 an hour practice
sessions,
events.
Right? Like Mark Baker, we heard about that a few weeks ago. Rob, listen, I agree with you, man. You know, pro shop operators need to be out there. They need to be on the lanes. They need to be active in the centers that they're in, and that's kind of lost its way to a large degree. And I think, you know, at this point, it might be either do that or you don't survive. You know, the good ones do. The good ones do. You're right. And I think the really good players, they seek those out. They seek those shops out who really do.
Dude, by the way, Tony's a player, boy. Man, me and him bowl each other a few times back in the day. Dude, Tony's a lefty, man. He could play, dude. Trust me. Tony, shout out, man. It's good seeing you, man. Appreciate you watching.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I just wanted to relay that story from my league. That's all. I'll update everybody. I think they're having a meeting this week to kind of see what they're doing. I feel terrible because, like I said, I bailed out too. But me bailing out is more about my schedule and things that I have going on, and it's just a terrible time for me to jump back into bowling right now after not bowling since March. But I'll give everybody an update on how things go. All right, Rob, our main topic for tonight, and I'm ready.
Oh God!
Anybody who wants to give me shit out there, come with it. Okay.
Jesus.
Social media at the 215
God.
At the
shameless social media plug.
2ONE5TH. Okay, check me out. Come with it. All right, I'll stand behind what I put out there. Go ahead.
Do you want me to talk about your tweet that you threw out?
Yeah, you can. You want to intro it? You can intro it.
No, I mean it was just a simple intro tweet that Rotogrip put out on their social media staff about Jordan Richards, right? Coming over to their staff. And then you being, Big Mike, throwing shit out on Twitter, giving all Big Mikes around the world a bad name, talk about how
I told somebody that the other day. They found that to be the funniest shit.
Dude,
I said, I got into a beef with Barstool. And somebody tweeted out, you're giving Big Mikes everywhere a bad name.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's great.
Dude, so I see this tweet that says, why didn't Brunswick? I don't remember exactly what the tweet was, but it was to the point where it was like, well, what happened that Brunswick didn't want to keep her on staff is pretty much. I mean, you could read it word for word, but it was like
Brunswick. My tweet?
Yeah, what was your tweet?
Let's be clear. Let's be clear here, okay? I don't want people calling us out for inaccuracies. That's what you're known for, all right? So
I know
the tweet was, right? There were a lot of good tweets today. Like when you tweeted, well, it's just a bunch of stuff and rumors. And I said, well, that's what we do best. Right? It's
like what we do around here every week. So, I was like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. So I tweeted out, wow, who decided to let the best up-and-coming female bowler in the world go? Okay, that's what I tweeted out. All right, almost word for word.
Dude, taking shots at the Big B.
And I stand behind this. I mean, Jordan Richards. I heard. I don't know if this is official or not, or if this is out there, but I heard that people within the highest levels of the bowling community nicknamed her the franchise because when they saw her coming up and they saw her game, that's how highly they thought of where she was going to go. Okay, she throws it off the chart. She's like a modern day Michelle Feldman with a better game. Okay.
Okay.
That's the kind of power we're talking about there.
Okay.
Right?
I'm not arguing with any of that.
To me, one of the best up and coming female bowlers on the planet, if not the best up and coming female bowler on the planet. And
I'm not argue with that.
And I find it, I don't know what word to use. I don't want to use the word shocking. Okay. But I'll go just short of that. Surprising. All right. I find it surprising that Brunswick would let someone go who is not only so highly thought of and already highly accomplished, but has also been with that brand for a while. You know, she's been with Hammer for a little bit. I remember,
that's who we need to talk to. You want to talk to someone?
Listen,
you want to talk to someone?
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I actually had a couple people in mind to reach out to say, yo, will you come on and talk about this ball
Here's
deal
the thing,
stuff
though.
with us?
Like, even if we have,
I don't want to bring someone on and have a conversation like this, and they end up in some heat because
no, that's the thing is like you could ask these, like we could ask Jim to come on and stuff, but he still has to be PC around Storm and Roto Grip, and there's a lot of like he doesn't want to talk bad about Brunswick or any of the brands. So it's that's where we want to have an honest conversation. Not saying Jim's not going to be honest, but I'm saying we want to have an open. We don't have an agenda. We're not with Storm. We're not with Roto Grip. Like I'm not with EBI anymore, right? Or Brunswick, right? So I mean, I'm all about having this conversation.
Everybody knows that.
I'm all about having this conversation because here's my point to it is. Jim says there's a lot of moving parts right now, right? There is, right? A lot of cutbacks. There's a lot of furloughs. My company, same thing. A lot of corporate America out there. Now, we don't know the specifics behind why she left, right? Was it because of money? Was it because the ball motions or reactions she didn't like what she was seeing on the lane, so she decided to maybe go to a more of a different contract structure, right? Because look, real quick though.
Can we pause for a second and just say she's not the only example, though. It's the one that I reacted to on Twitter, but you also had Tom Smallwood leave Brunswick, okay? You also had Thomas Larson leave Brunswick.
It happens all the time,
though. And then I understand that. I get it. But part of my point here is that Brunswick took over EBI a while ago now. Right. And we all know, we discussed this even when Bolero took over the PBA. Things aren't going to change right away. Right. There's not going to be a sea change immediately when these things happen. Right. It's going to be down the road. And the reason I was reacting to this is because the way I'm looking at it is this could be the start of Brunswick going down the path that they want to go down. Now, let me say this. Okay. I didn't say this online. I saved this for the show. All right. I give you the teaser on Twitter. And I hit you with the reel on the show. Okay. The reason that I really took interest of this, Rob, is because, and we talked about this before. You can go back and check the shows from when EBI took over Brunswick. Rob, when they took over, do you remember what we highlighted as one of the biggest differences between Brunswick staff and how they had done things, stereotypically, I'll say, over the years, and EBI staff and how they had done things stereotypically? Do you remember what we talked about or no?
No, I don't. I have a bad memory.
Okay. All right. So one of the things that we mentioned was that Brunswick was always known for having a smaller staff.
Yeah. They had like a little family, right?
That's
Small with Walter
right?
Ray Rash, right?
We talked about it, right? We talked about it like you have guys that have been there for years, like Parker Bone, Johnny Petraglia, Sean Rash was there for a long time.
Yeah, long time.
Smallwood was there for a long time. Jason Sterner's been there for a long time. Yep. There's a lot of guys. It's a small group that has stuck around with Brunswick for a long time, right? When they purchased EBI was like similar to Storm. There's all kinds of people with contracts with that company, right? Various brands in that company. So I guess the reason that I'm reacting to it to some degree here is because I'm questioning, like, are they going to go back to that stereotypical way of doing things from the past of smaller staff, less people, bigger names, but not as many. And if that's the case, I mean, I think that's bad across the board because there's only three companies. So I just, again, wanted to give some background on my comments there. All right, let's see what Jim has to say in the chat. Every company has different priorities. Our company is historically very big on the tours. Bill Crispin loves pro bowling. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, listen, that's clear, right? Storm has. I would think. I don't know. I'm not speaking factually, but I would think overall, if you include all bowlers who are quote unquote on staff with Storm, I would think Storm has the biggest staff in the world in the bowling community.
Well, do you know what Bill Crispin reminds me of? He reminds me of one of those owners like a Mark Cuban or even like a Jerry Jones, really loves bowling and loves the sport, right? And is not really like, yeah, he wants to make money, but like he just loves being involved in the sport. And I don't know Bill personally, but from what I've heard of Bill is he's just a very involved and he loves the sport, right? So like he, and people are very loyal to him, right? And EBI and whole Brunswick situation, especially EBI, and then EBI showed like almost kind of a little bit of their true colors, that they were a little bit more corporate, right, than Storm. And Storm is a family-owned company. The owner loves bowling, and then you got Brunswick EBI, who's almost like corporate, right? So it's like corporate America versus this powerful, big, family-owned company, right? And it's just interesting to see how they kind of go back and forth, right? Bill loves to win, right? Just like Jerry Jones loves to win, right? Mark Cuban loves to win. I kind of feel like it's a very good comparison. And look, if I was a basketball player, or if I would love to play for a Mark Cuban or a Jerry Jones, because of the fact that they love to win and they're so involved in their company, right? But then you got a company like Brunswick, right? But they got 8 brands right now. Mike, it wouldn't surprise me.
And hold on for a second, because I want to respond to this. Evan and I had more staff members, he's saying, because they had more brands before they were sold. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, when that went down, that's one of the things that we kind of highlighted. Like, if they had so many staff members and Brunswick traditionally didn't, where was that going to end up, right? Seemed like when it started out, they didn't change much. But again, you're not going to see that change early on. Right now, I'm thinking, okay, is there some trimming going on here to get rid of somebody like Jordan Richards? Come on, like,
Jim, give us a few minutes. We'll fuck this up. Don't worry. give us a few minutes. We'll fucking mangle this topic. Just wait.
I love it. The confidence level is high. But no, listen, to get rid of somebody like her. Now, we have more to talk about here with the tweets, right? Because your brother, as always, the lawyer, I don't know if he's in here or not tonight. If you're here, what up, Jeff? Shout to Jeff. He's screaming objection at me on Twitter, okay? And
because you're making
my place. But go ahead. Look, do you want to summarize what his argument was or what his side was?
Well, his argument was kind of where I was going a little bit to, is you're making assumptions without knowing facts, right? And as a lawyer, that's the worst thing you can do. So in his own mind, he's not going to be, working a case if he doesn't know the facts of the case, right? You can't work a case just based on assumptions.
Yeah, but as a podcaster, that's what we do.
Us podcasting, that's
what we do.
That's exactly what we do.
This is what we do. Okay.
So, I mean, Jeff could probably agree with me, like, hey, look, like you're making facts. You don't know why she left. You don't know what the reasoning, the facts were behind it.
And, and then it came into a discussion from about money, right? About the reasons,
that's right.
Let's be more broad, right? Let's be more broad. The reasons that a player might leave a staff, right? Yeah. And I kind of assigned it down to money, right? And Jeff was arguing the side that there could be more reasons than just money. And I hear that side. I get it. But here's my thing, though. I think that at a base level, you got to understand how important a ball contract is to somebody who's out there trying to bowl full time. And I say full time because they might even have a little side gig, but trying to bowl full time for a living. These ball contracts are very important. They're not that big, right? We are not talking all that large sums of money here. There's a few players that you could be talking about large sums of money. And again, I'm going to go on record and say we need this info. the bowling community needs this info. Okay, we need to know contract deals, etc. We want, as fans, we want this info. Come on, I understand, but let's find a way to get this done in some way. Okay.
I mean,
so
look, like
that was kind of what the argument came down to. Jeff is saying here, my argument is saying they got rid of her, and that implies it was their choice, not her choice to leave. Okay. And my retort to that was, well, in the bowling community, and me, it's not that hard to hold on to somebody if you really want them. You're not talking about, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you're probably not even talking tens of thousands of dollars. You're probably talking thousands of dollars. Okay. Well, look, so to me, hold on, for a company like Brunswick to say, no, I don't, we're not interested in making an offer that's a few thousands of dollars more additional than what you're currently getting for somebody like that. I don't know. I mean, that says a lot to me. And I do look at it as them letting her walk. To me, it's the same thing in professional sports, where if a player gets an offer from another team, and this team wants to keep that player, they're going to make the offer to keep that player. And if they don't, the fan base is going to say, oh, you let him walk. Look at Mookie Betts. Look at how pissed off Boston is about Mookie Betts right now, right? Insane amount of money he got from the Dodgers. And shout to Mookie Betts. You want to come on Sweep the Rack, let us know if you see this. Okay?
I'm sure he's watching. Yeah, I'm sure he's watching.
That's how highly I think of us, right? The Mookie Betts is tuned in.
Yeah, he's sitting there. He's watching while he's in the dugout.
So anyway, my point stands. Like, people were pissed off. They look at that as the Boston Red Sox fault. Okay, so listen. To me, there's more to it.
There's some facts here that could be, said here. One, I mean, is it really worth the investment of a bowling ball company to have a PWBA? It's true. See, Lucas has got a very smart wife. Lucas, shout outs to Lucas's wife. But look, here's the thing: is it worth the bowling ball company to keep on or paying a top woman pro, right? Because of the exposure they're not getting on TV right now. I mean, it's a fair question, right? Like, I don't know what the women's contracts is compared to the men's contracts are, but it's a fair question because look, like, the PWBA hasn't been on TV a lot. Now, does that mean that the women around their local areas aren't doing just as much as the men are? I know Shannon O'Keefe does an amazing job on social media, and her presence is amazing. She does amazing stuff for Hammer. But like, if Jordan Richards maybe also the other thing that's loyalty, right? Maybe. But here's the other thing too is, and I know people have left companies just because they don't like their ball reaction with the brands they're throwing, right? I mean, people have taken less money to go to a Storm, right, or Rotogrip, who maybe has a better ball reaction for their specific game, right? I know a lot of bowlers who have done that, where Rotogrip Storm is known for giving better incentive deals, less base money, but more incentive deals for contracts. So maybe that's, something where she's just like, well, maybe I have a better chance of getting better incentives, right? Or doing better in that direction. There's so many facts that we don't know why she left. But,
no, you're right. You're right. I'm totally speculating. I am. I mean, I'm speculating, but listen, this is kind of what we do. This is, we talk, we speculate, we.
But her comment too, Facebook, was interesting, where she said that something about her, like, not being happy, right? Maybe she wasn't getting attention.
What is with the burners on our show, son? What is with the burners on our show?
Dude, the rubber man.
I love how the burners come out of the woodwork for Sweep the Rack. It's awesome.
We need a big urn. But yeah, like, I mean, there's so many facts that she left, but maybe we could reach out to her and get her on. But I still don't think we're gonna get a right answer if we ask her, dude. Because we've had another pro that switched over, right, who gave us an answer, and it was a very PC answer, tiptoe danced around the topic, when we're trying to get a true answer of why you left.
That we may or may not have heard later was not factually correct.
Not accurate. Well, yeah, because look, like, you don't want to burn.
Listen, that's what I was trying to say to Jeff today on Twitter. Like, of course they're going to say the PC thing. Of course, like Tom Smallwood leaves Brunswick, okay? And he puts out a statement saying, it was mutual. I just felt it was time to move on,
it
et
was
cetera. I
great.
get it. But here's the thing, though. If that's true, then what he's doing is he's giving up a guaranteed paycheck for his family. So you want me to believe that somebody who's out there bowling for a living, grinding it out, is going to voluntarily say, you know what, our relationship just ran its course. I'm going to give up this check for my family every month. Man, come on. You believe that? I got a bridge to sell you, homie.
No,
okay, that ain't going to happen. And to respond to a couple of your points there, Rob, the women having less exposure, I think, is a huge factor, right? There's no question about that. And it could have played into this. I give you that. However, they're going to be in the team event, right? So you would think if they would have at least kept her through the team event, and well, I guess maybe her contract ran at a certain time, but nonetheless, they do have less exposure. I agree. But Rob, for anybody to say that a person would leave a ball company because of ball reaction, again, that's a guaranteed check in their pocket every month. Now, if they already have something, if it's like a relationship situation and they're on the side talking to this new thing over here while they got their old thing over here and they know they could jump ship right away and they already got something to go to, a new place to live, nice little thing that's going to cook them some new food. All right, I get that. Okay. But if you want me to believe again that a player is going to just say, oh, the ball reaction sucks, so I'm going to give up this check every month, I don't believe that. And I also believe that if a ball company, even if the ball reaction sucks, let's be honest, comes to a player and says, hey, here's a decent sized check every month for you and your family, then you know what? I think they're going to take it even if the ball reaction sucks.
No, I disagree with you, because if the bowling company that you're with is not making good bowling balls,
you said
Mike,
it, homie, not me.
Mike, if the bowling company you're with is not making good bowling balls, and I know there was a couple years there where Ebonite was making really, really terrible bowling balls, right? A while ago. I mean, yeah, like
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say, honestly, I don't want to say too much.
Listen, though, the ball reaction is important, because if you're not winning and you're falling in 25th every week, but you're getting a guaranteed paycheck, eventually that guaranteed paycheck is going to run out because no one's going to want you on their staff because you're finishing 25th every week. Dude, winning is more important than a guaranteed paycheck. If you told me that I was going to be able to throw the best balls in the world and win, and not throw some shit down the lane and finish 25th every week, I'm going to throw this shit and I'm going to win, because I know those wins are eventually going to get me a bigger guaranteed paycheck, like a Jason Belmonte or a Chris Barnes type contract.
Yeah, well, I think if a professional bowler is going out there and thinking it's the bowling ball that's making a difference between him and the guy that's kicking his ass every week, or for that matter, the 24 guys that are kicking his ass every week, then he's got bigger problems than the bowling balls anyway. And switching balls ain't going to make much of a difference.
I feel like we've milked this topic for a while.
Listen, so Jim Callahan said, I'm smart. I know what I'm talking. I am going to take that, and I'm taking a picture of that. I'm going to change it to the banner on my.
So Lucas Wiseman's wife said that I was smart. So I don't. Whatever, Mike. Hey, you feed. Thanks, Jim, for feeding his ego. That's amazing. Now I got to deal with him. That's like saying something nice about Skip Bayless and then having to listen to Skip Bayless talk about himself.
Oh my goodness!
For a whole month.
I love it. All right, Rob. We're going to move on. There's some things that we're fried about, Rob. It's been a while, Rob.
Oh, we're doing a fried out.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we did an I'm fucking fried segment. So we'll get into it tonight. There's a couple things we're fried about. The resurgence of the bowling season, I think, Rob. We were having a conversation, kind of got us fucking fried about some stuff. So you want to go first? You want to tell the people why you're fucking fried, or should I tell them? Yeah,
dude. No, I'm fried, man. Look, like, now that we're in this like COVID, like sitting home and we're not really in a bowling alley, it feels like there's always something to be fried about, even when you're not in a bowling alley. And in social media, right? A lot of new releases, Mike, bowling balls coming out. Everybody's got a new release coming out.
Oh my God.
Million new releases. And every staffer has to post about how that this whole thing is the best ball. Look at this reaction. And look, here's what fries me out the most, Mike. Mike, here's what fries me out the most. Every shot.
Tell them why you fried, son. Tell them why you fried.
Every shot that people throw with their new bowling ball on their video, on their social media, looks the same. It looks the same. There's no difference in this reaction compared to that reaction, even when the best players in the world are throwing it. I'm sitting there going, well, what's the difference between that and the ball that came out 6 months ago? They both struck. All I'm saying is, like, there's no difference in your new ball that came out today compared to what it came out 6 months. And yeah, like, you can barely see the ball. Look, you can barely see the ball going down the lane, right? The ball videos. Look, these bowling ball videos, Mike, are not selling bowling balls, okay? You know what's selling bowling balls is when you get on TV like the PBA league and you watch a pro actually throwing the ball and you could see the ball going down the lane, right? You know, the ball maybe look, like, stop with the ball review videos if you're not a top tier pro. Okay, let's just put it like that. I'll watch a Belmonte throw a ball down the lane. I'll watch a Stu Williams does some good ball reviews. I'll listen to some of the top tier class. But dude, just because you own a pro shop and you have your name on your back of your shirt every day, and you go up
and
there
you got a ball deal, and you got a ball deal,
and you got a ball deal. Dude, look,
son.
like, all I'm saying is stop with the ball videos. Like, find a new way to market the product. It fries me out. Like, and look, I've done some ball like shots before. Years ago, right? Okay, I'm done, Mike. I know there's a lot of people that are like me.
I'm sorry you're fried. You hearken me back to my my re-rack the other week when I said I want to go back to the time when bowling ball companies only released a few balls a year. Right. And I feel like that is connected to your being fried here, you know, because there's so many. There's just so many balls, man.
That's a good question.
The logo.
I think the shirt
on
logo,
the shirt.
dude. Look, it's a brand.
Hold on. I need to read that again. Do you think the logo on the shirt or the ball going down the lane sells more on the PBA tour?
I think the shirt does. You know why? Let me tell you why. Okay, and I'll give you time to think about it. Okay. Branding, right? Branding is a big thing in corporate America, right? Apple, McDonald's, KFC, really any big corporate has a brand, right? Storm has a brand. It's their logo. The brand sells more than the bowling ball, okay? You can make any bowling ball, put the Storm logo on it, put some marketing on it, and people are going to buy it because it's a brand, okay? That's basic 101 business. You can't sell but if you took that Storm ball, okay, and you put some logo and brand that you never heard of, some random just Rob's bowling company, right? You think people are going to buy it? No, people ain't going to buy it. But if you take the same ball and you put a Storm logo on it and a brand, people are going to buy it. The brand sells more than the bowling ball.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not even going to entertain a discussion there. I agree. I agree with your point there.
Yeah, that's why the Belmo bowling balls, they're branding Belmo. You know what? Like, they put a logo, they made a cool logo with the two-handed, and they're branding it and they're putting it on the Storm bowling balls and they're selling them. That's because it's all about branding, marketing. It's 101 basic business. Mike, I should be working. Mike, I should be working. No, Jim, call me. Put me in the marketing department at Storm. I'll sell you bowling balls.
You're gonna have people from other continents creeping out of the woodwork and hitting us up to come on if you keep it up here. I'm just letting you know.
Call me. I'll come to your company. I'll sell some bowling balls. What?
Listen, if you do get that in, who should your first phone call be? Give me a ball deal, son. Will you finally?
Yeah.
Finally, so I can walk around and be like, yo, I'm sponsored by Storm, man. I'm on staff with Storm. I could put up a Facebook post saying, bowl the tournament today. Finished 43rd out of 45 guys. I was minus 300 after 8, but want to thank my company for their support. And
you'd be the first person I call because everyone's going to be able to see that Storm brand on the back of your shirt through the whole bowling alley.
Word up.
I'm telling you, man. If the ball companies were smart, they'd find all the big dudes. They put the brand right on the back of the shirt, and you could see it from lane 1 when you're bowling on 60. You say, "Look, Mike is bowling with a Storm ball, man."
All right, Rob's fried. I'm fried too. I got something I'm fried about too, and me being fried involves the USBC website. We've talked about this before. the wasteland that is the USBC bowlers discussion page
I
website.
I love that message board.
Okay, and I'm fried because league bowling has resumed, and it's been numerous months since people have bowled. So of course, what do we got to see every day? I got to read 8 posts, 10 posts, 20 posts about first night back to league last night after being off since March. Shot 637, bowled great. Love this ball. This ball's great. Oh, this ball's awesome. Right out of the box. I haven't bowled since March. 780 something. Oh, 820 I shot right out of the box. I haven't practiced since March.
Fig jam. The fig jam is coming strong out.
I mean, listen, enough. All right. No one cares. It's like I just can't. I can't. It fries me so bad when I see these posts.
What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong?
I want to respond to them, okay? But it's my wife's account because I don't have a Facebook, so I'm on there perusing, and she gets so pissed if I put something up because people, they engage back and forth. But listen, it just fries me out, okay? It just fries me out.
Yeah, we need to start one of those.
Everybody's got to go and post their scores and their first night back, and first night back to league. Drilled up this new ball. Oh, it was 687. Oh, last year I averaged 213. I'm off to a 220 this year. Like, are you people serious? I mean, this is where we're at in bowling. This is where we're at.
Well, Mike, I'm just curious. What are they? I'm curious because, like, I know what those message boards are. What are they supposed to talk about on that message boards? What is it? What like? Because like I'm all about a sweep direct discussion board, right? Like, see, our discussion board would be unfiltered though. I wouldn't be removing. I'd be removing those type like posts that you told me. All the controversial shit we'd be leaving on. So like,
I mean, what I think, like, I don't go to the USBC discussion board Facebook page to hear about people's shitty league scores, okay, on their easy shit that they bowl on, all right? I go to the page thinking there's going to be bowling discussion, there's going to be discussion of professional bowling, there's going to be discussion of issues that come up with the USBC, like the weight hole rule, etc. And there was, but those boards, that Facebook page, I swear to Rob, we got to get the dude who's the moderator on that Facebook page.
Yeah. Oh, Tim Buck.
My man is like, whoosh, the sheriff of the USBC Facebook. I am not shitting
Tim
you.
Buck.
Like,
Well, I don't know his name.
He pulls out the guns and he will just blaze right on you, kick you right out of the group, put up a post saying, admin, keep it civil in here. This is bowling discussion. I mean, my man is off the charts. We got to get him on here. But yeah, I don't go on there to hear people.
My brother loves that. Yeah. No, I mean, look, like, I skimmed through it. I skipped through it, and I had to really look. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but there was a USBC message board post. You're gonna love this.
I got a story for you in a minute.
There was a USBC message board about how this kid was 18 years old, and he was, interested in why he can't stay bowling juniors. Okay, and he was 18, and he put that post up. So I saw Robert Rowe III commented and said something. Mike, I responded, and nobody commented. I responded, Robert, why don't you give him some tips? You bowled juniors until you were 24. And nobody responded. I was a big proponent of I'm reading these comments. The weight hole discussions get shut down.
Tim Buck. Tim Buck is wild. We need, if anyone out there knows Tim Buck, please get him in touch with us. Let him know. We want to have him on. Like, we want to have a good time though. He seems a little uptight, to be honest with you.
Dude, how many of them are trolls though? Because like I kind of feel like there's a lot of trolls that will like realize that something like keeps people posting. So if people go on, they keep posting the same thing just to get responses.
Then you'll have people come on and post something, and he'll take it down, and then they'll come back on and say like, "Yo, all I did was post about this. Like, why did it get taken down?" And then he comes back on and says, "Don't question the admin, or you'll be banned from this site."
Yo, he's like the message board Nazi. He's like, "No post for you."
He is, man. He is, for real. If anybody out there, Tim Buck, yo, hit us up. Hit us up, Tim. I want to party with Tim Buck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you hear why we're fried. Don't worry about us, folks. We'll be all right. We'll recover. We'll get over it. Okay. We just wanted to go off on a little tangent for you there. Rob, are we Wheel of Answers this week? Are we
Yeah,
Wheel of
I think
Answers for Sweep the Rack?
hopefully it works, dude. We have had so many problems with the wheel. I swear to you. But we're gonna try to run it this week.
Shit's the broken Wheel of Answers.
Yeah. Let's. Oh wait, Okay, hold on. Okay, so I got it here. I think. Okay, you ready? We can spin in the wheel.
Here we
Big
go.
money. It's working. It's working. I added some new questions that you never known about. Ooh, your worst ball you've ever
Oh,
threw.
oh, okay. Now, does this
Mike.
mean like the worst bowling ball we ever threw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The
You want
worst
to go
bowling ball
first
you've
or no?
No, you can go first because I can't think of the
Okay.
name of the ball that I threw because I got
Easy
rid of
one.
it.
Easy one for me. Worst
Okay.
ball I ever threw was a track flare.
Ooh, Doyle's still in
threw.
the chat here. That was
Okay.
Doyle's go-to ball.
Worst ball I ever threw. First of all, it was shit brown. Okay, literally the color was shit brown. It looked like a piece of shit, and it was a piece of shit. However, let me say this though. I actually used that ball at the JBT Thanksgiving Classic in like maybe 1995 when I was on the younger side of the scratch division, and I made a deep run into that tournament, and I actually beat a couple really high level scratch bowlers at Baker Lanes. Baker Lanes was just my spot, and I beat a couple high level scratch players at Baker Lanes. And I remember like using that track flare and playing in and just tripping out 5 pins, like 5 pins just falling at the last second because it was hitting like such a piece of garbage. And then Lee Wenzel shot 290 on me in the last game, and I lost. I came in second, but so. I did have a good experience with it in a tournament once, and usually, if that's the case, I have a good vibe with a ball. But yeah, that ball was really shitty.
Okay. I had one ball in mind, but it was so bad that I just like threw it away, and I can't remember the bowling ball's name. But one of the worst balls I've ever thrown, and I might get a lot of slack for this because I think a lot of people actually like this ball. But it was a white AMF XS. Remember that marshmallow-looking freaking ball?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I swear I might have had that ball for like literally like a game, and I might have 5, 7, 10 with it a few times and put it right back in the bag. Oh no,
but,
dude, that Michael Jordan MF was
the
shit.
MJ Slam. It was called the MJ Slam. Let me tell you something. Mike Fagan used to beat the shit out of people with that ball. Can I tell you that?
I used that in college, man. I love that.
Yeah, it was out when we were in college.
They got dry.
I remember seeing him whip that out, and I was like, really? This dude's going to throw an MJ Slam? Really? Like a Michael Jordan ball? And, it was like crazy.
Dude. Oh, when those lanes got dry, man, I was able to move left with that thing and just actual ball roll really well. So, I mean, look, like it just depends on your style and like how you threw it. And some balls just match up. It has a lot to do with like symmetrical and asymmetrical cores. Sometimes asymmetrical cores don't match up in your home center, and you're using symmetrical stuff, and vice versa. So it really depends on where you throw it, how you throw it, what cores you use, where you bowl, what surface your lanes are, what your oil is. It's just a lot of different. I mean, Mike, how many times have you thrown a ball in practice? Let me tell you, the Ebonite Red Mission, right? That ball is one of the best balls on the house shot. Dude, I used to strike for a year on the house shot with that Mission, right? The red one. As soon as you get me on a sports shot or somewhere where they were tougher, that I could never throw that ball. It's just house shot I could strike for a year. I would never go in the bag when I was bowling some kind of tough shot. So, but then you got Kelly Kulik, right? Who could, win on a tough shot using that. So, look, like it's just a matter of where you throw it, how you throw it, when you throw it. But dude, it's a good topic to talk about.
Yeah, that is a good one, and we're getting a lot of
Joe,
comments
sound off
here
in the
about
chat.
balls.
I love to hear some of your worst balls in the chat. What have you thrown? Quantum Helix is a good one. That almost made the list.
Ooh, you know what else would be on my list there, honestly, would be a purple hammer as worst balls.
What?
Or no, I'm sorry. Hold on. No. Sorry.
Oh, my God. I almost fucking threw my microphone out.
Freudian slip. Sorry. No, purple quantum. Purple quantum when that first came out. Yeah, I hated that ball. I thought that ball was trash.
Goodness. You know how much scholarship money I won with that ball?
Yeah, I used to see a lot of people throw and have success. I thought, in fact, that ball was the first ball I think to cost $200 or cost over $200.
Sure.
That purple quantum.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the guy's name. His name was Bill, and he was a cop who was from around the neighborhood who bolted the bowl. And so he used to drill up all these balls, and he drilled a purple quantum, and he didn't like it. One night in League, he was bowling so bad with it, and he got so pissed off. I was standing in the back watching him to kind of see what the ball did, and he just gave it to me. And I was like, yo, get out of here. You're just giving this to me? And he was like, yeah, I don't even want it. He's like, it sucks. It's a piece of garbage. You could plug it up and have it. So, I plugged it up and used it. But like I said, I wasn't that impressed by it. So, it would definitely be on my list. But yeah, a lot of people in the comments with
because
with
look, like
balls they drilled.
Let's just
today. It's easy to drill a bad ball. I think today there's so many of them out there.
There's so many bad bowling balls.
There's so many duds out there. Like I think back to like the late '90s, Rob, all the way before that when we were bowling as kids, and I think it was hard to get a dud because most of the balls that came out were pretty good. So when I think about all the balls I drilled in college and junior bowling JBTs, most of them were great. I mean, some of those balls were like phenomenal to me. But at the same time, there weren't as many coming out. Now there's more coming out, and I think it's easier to get a dud. And the duds, like, they don't even get acknowledged. They don't even get acknowledged when it's a dud. It just disappears. Like back in the day, if there was a dud ball that came out, like everybody knew, like, yo, that ball's a dud. Don't even drill that ball.
Dude, you know what I noticed? That there's like some of the bowling ball companies go like in these like spurts of like making really bad bowling balls.
It's crazy.
I remember when I first went to Saginaw Valley as a freshman, we were sponsored by Brunswick, and it was a really, really bad time to be throwing Brunswick. Battle zones and assault zones and these really bad. I think the best ball they make, and I was using the Walter Ray William ball and the Mike Albee MVP like everywhere I went, because those are really the only really good balls that I could find out of like.
Yeah, they went through a tough time during that period, but before that, like they were killing it. They had like the Rhino line, and all those balls were great. Okay,
yeah, speed zone.
Like
that was speed zones were good. I mean, that was a good ball.
Shot my first 800 with a speed zone actually.
Yeah,
I thought that was a pretty good ball, but
then like Hammer had a really bad run for a while. I remember they were making like a raw hammer nail and all kinds of like crap and remember Toxic Hammer and all kinds of shit. And you're just like, oh god.
Has Storm had a bad run at all?
No, not really, man.
I mean, you go back to like mid to late '90s, right? When they first hit the scene.
See, the other thing about Storm is like you're always able to throw like their staple bowling balls, even like years. So even when they do make some bad ones, you're still able to pull out like High Roads and Marvel Pearls and still balls that still work, right? Like, but yeah, like Storm. I mean, look, all companies are going to make bad ones every once in a while. I don't like their asymmetrical stuff, Storm. I just never. The Meteor Storm,
like he's saying during that time, but I don't know, Rob or Jeff.
No.
The Meteor Storm, I agree. I had that ball; it was so. But at that same time, they were coming out with some really good stuff. I mean, like the Thunder Road series was out at that same time. The Firestorm was out at the same time. So I don't know, man. They might be the only company you can point to and say they've never had one of those lulls. Because I agree with you. Like it kind of goes in peaks and valleys for most companies. But that's not to say that there haven't been some turds that they've put out along the line.
I mean, they put out some bad ones. I remember the Lucid was really bad. I couldn't do anything with that ball. But then, like, you have like your Paradigm, right? Remember that ball? Oh my goodness, Paradigm, and just so many different, Victory Roads, High Roads, the whole Road series. But then you have some other balls.
I think we're going to have to do a separate discussion in an upcoming episode on bad Storm balls. Make a list of bad Storm balls, perhaps, because you're right. Like I don't think there's been a period, but we could pick out some stinkers. I'm sure if we wanted to.
I mean, look, like there's stinkers in every company, but I feel like Storm has probably been the most consistent. And that's the reason why, like we talked earlier about why you would buy the brand more than you would buy the bowling ball, because their good stuff is usually better than their bad stuff. Like it's just there's more good stuff than there is bad stuff. So,
all Orange Piranha was the shit. I knew people that were using that ball 10 years later to still win tournaments. 10 years after it came out,
dude. Orange
you could
Piranha,
resurface that ball over and over and over again. It didn't matter.
dude. Orange
Ball was a
Piranha,
beast.
Blue Piranha C, Jade Piranha C, Kuda C. Dude, to get me those 4 balls in my bag, and dude, I was a happy kid, man. Oh yeah, dude. Dude.
That's good. That's good stuff. All right, so Rob, that's all we got for the people tonight. Listen, before we go, I want to give it. I should have said this earlier. I was on last Friday with Greg Tack on his New Jersey Sport Bowling Facebook broadcast to introduce his season schedule. So I wanted to give a shout out to him. Anybody in the local area, check that out. And I also wanted to give a shout out, Rob, to our college correspondent. Alex Swords, had a conversation with him this week. Got a little background info, Rob, on what's going on with the college bowling scene this year. And I think that perhaps beginning of next month, we should follow up with him and kind of get some word on that, because I think it would be interesting to hear, what the plan is for college bowling going with COVID.
Yeah, that's interesting because look, like we all know, college bowling isn't exactly it's tough to social distance while you bowl for college bowling. I mean, it's packed, right? Like wall to wall people, wall to wall, like bowling balls, right?
That's why I used to love when we were at a tournament with the girls, and like you get on that pair that's right next to the girls' pair, and like it's real crowded. You scoot up next to the honeys, like, yo, sorry, there's no room, sorry, baby, yo.
Dude, my pickup line is like, yo, like,
son, you weren't doing that. I was doing that. All right.
Yo,
Dave was maybe doing that.
My pickup line was like, hey, I room with Bill O'Neill. And the girls would be like, oh, could you introduce me? I'd be like, yeah, but I mean, what's up though? What's up with me and you? Like, you'll meet Bill, but look, like
there may have been a time or two where somebody told me like, oh yeah, I'm going to hang out with Bill O'Neill, and I was like, Bill O'Neill? You're going to hang out with Bill O'Neill? When you want to really party, come hang out with me. Come see me. Okay, dude, tell Bill O'Neill I said what's good. Tell Bill O'Neill I said what's good. But dude, you want to come really party? Come check out me and my crew over here. All right,
dude. But we had one time where it was like it was me, and this is before Bill came on, where we had Jimmy Lewandowski. Remember Jimmy Lewandowski, dude? And we used to I mean, we had some good, man. That's a whole nother topic about talking about like parties and like hooking up college bowling, man. I got some good ones.
True. Add it to the wheel of answers, and we'll follow up with the people next week. Stop breaking my balls about the headphones. All right. I already said earlier in the show, I'll get new headphones in the works. All right, and I'll retire these to use for my next NASCAR appearance. All right, as Lucas said.
Mike looks like he's about to take off from the helicopter pad right now.
All right, everybody.
Roger, 1-2, take off. All right, guys.
All right, folks. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.
See you next week.
So check out our social media. Sweep the rack. Later.